We invite all fans of mystical fiction to continue listening to the next part of the story, the patron behind the demon sect Saintess. In the previous part, we followed Lu Chen as he tracked down a traitor within the demon sect and led Linger to catch them red-handed while dealing with the righteous path in a plot to assassinate the Saintess. Mo Bingdao appeared, crushed the scheme, and punished the traitor as a warning to the entire sect. Through this, Lu Chen proved his worth and officially stepped onto the board of power. Part 5. Winning without killing, Lu Chen's psychological strategy. On the way back, Linger was still annoyed, but the way she looked at Lu Chen had changed. She no longer saw him as just a new toy, but as something dangerous in a different way, a man who could see through traps. Walking beside him, she finally asked, her voice slightly tense, "How did you know it was someone surnamed Yun?" Lu Chen replied, "Because he likes to use purification methods to kill. It's a habit." Linger frowned, "You speak as if you know him." Lu Chen looked straight ahead. "I know that kind of person." Linger fell silent, then muttered, "You're not like someone from the Lu family." Lu Chen let out a faint smile. "I'm no longer part of the Lu family." Linger glanced at him, but said nothing more. When they returned to the hall, Mo Bingyao stood before the steps, looking at Lu Chen as if he were a sword just drawn from its sheath, its sharpness still unknown. She asked directly, "What did you think when you saw how I dealt with the traitor?" Lu Chen answered, "Correct." Mo Bingyao narrowed her eyes. "Correct because it was ruthless?" "Correct because it was necessary." Lu Chen said, "Ruthlessness is only a tool. You didn't kill him quickly because you wanted to cut off the path of betrayal for others." Mo Bingyao looked at him for a moment longer. "You're not afraid?" Lu Chen asked in return. "What should I be afraid of?" "That I might treat you the same way," she replied. Lu Chen spoke calmly. "If I betray, I deserve it. If I don't, then fear is meaningless." Mo Bingyao gave a faint smile, this time more visible, yet still cold. "You truly do not kneel." Lu Chen replied, "I kneel before death, not before people." The air seemed to freeze. Elder He, watching from afar, showed a hint of satisfaction in his eyes. Mo Bingyao stepped down one step, standing closer to Lu Chen. Her voice lowered, "From today on, you are no longer a guest. You are my person." Lu Chen did not rush to feel pleased. He simply asked, "What does it mean to be the Saintess's person?" Mo Bingyao answered, "It means you work for me, live for my goals, and in return, I allow you to live." Lu Chen nodded, "Clear enough." Mo Bingyao continued, "But I don't like people who only survive by relying on others. If you want to stand behind me, you must have something to stand on." Lu Chen asked, "How does the Saintess want me to prove it?" Mo Bingyao turned and tossed him a thin leather-bound booklet. "Basic formation talismans of the demonic sect. 3 days. If you understand it, I'll use you. If not, you're just a storyteller." Linger's eyes widened. 3 days? He has no foundation. Mo Bingyao's voice turned cold. "Then he dies. The demonic sect does not raise useless people." Lu Chen took the booklet, sensing the faint smell of dried blood on its cover, and replied, 3 days is enough." Mo Bingyao glanced at him and concluded with a final remark. "Whether it's enough or not, that's on you." That night, Lu Chen returned to the small courtyard, sat beneath the black lantern, and opened the formation manual. The characters twisted like snakes, each stroke carrying traces of spiritual force, stared too long, and one's vision would blur. He knew this was the final test of this stage. If intelligence wasn't enough, then discipline must make up for it. He forced himself to read line by line, memorizing every structure, refusing to stop despite the pounding in his head. Each time the heart seal throbbed sharply when he misread even a single beat. He understood, this contract and the heart seal were not just restraints, they were also guides, telling him when he was right or wrong. He murmured to himself, "I'm not strong, then I must be fast." Outside, the wind blew, and the bone chime clinked softly. In the distant darkness, someone was watching him, not with killing intent, but with calculation. Was this man worth keeping? 3 days later, at dawn, Lu Chen stepped into the hall, placed the booklet on the stone table, pointed to a page, and spoke fluently. This shadow snare formation can be used to conceal the Saintess's aura when entering the secret realm. But the positions of the 2 anchor points must be changed, otherwise it will be detected by the demon purging formation. The first anchor point should not be placed on stone, but on bone. The second should not be placed to the north, but to the southeast to avoid reverse spiritual flow. Mo Bingyao looked at him in silence. Elder He stepped forward, glanced at the page, and his eyes flashed. You actually understood it. Linger stood frozen, her mouth slightly open before closing again. Mo Bingyao asked slowly, "Where did you get your foundation?" Lu Chen replied, "I don't have one, I only have time and fear of death." Mo Bingyao gave a slight nod, then said, her tone still cold, but different from before. "From today on, you will follow me in the deployment. You are no longer just standing behind me." Lu Chen lowered his head. "Yes." Mo Bingyao looked at him for a moment longer, then added, in the simplest form of acknowledgement, "You have value." Lu Chen did not smile. He simply let out a slow breath. In the demonic sect, those two words were not praise. They were permission to live. And from that moment, Lu Chen understood one thing clearly: he had stepped into the center of the storm. From now on, every move he made could change Mo Bingyao's fate and his own. But he was no longer a piece being pushed. He had begun to move the board himself. Mo Bingyao did not linger on acknowledgement. To her, "You have value," was already a rare form of leniency. Everything else was action. That very morning, she summoned Lu Chen to the inner hall, where the black stone floor was smooth as a mirror. On the wall hung a massive map carved directly into the stone. Red lines like veins of blood weaving into a dense network. Elder He stood nearby, leaning on his staff, his gaze heavy. Linger held a stack of jade slips, her expression far more serious than usual. Mo Bingyao looked at Lu Chen and asked directly, "The ancient secret realm opens in 7 days. The righteous sect has already received the news. Lan Ruoxue will definitely enter. You said you know the opportunities, then tell me, what is her greatest one?" Lu Chen did not answer immediately. He understood this question was not just for information, it was to determine whether he truly saw the path ahead, or was merely fabricating bait to prolong his life. He stepped closer to the map, pointed to a northern mountain region, and spoke fluently. "The secret realm has 3 layers. The outer layer holds common resources. The middle layer contains inheritance of formation techniques and rare spiritual herbs. The innermost layer is what Lan Ruoxue is after, the sacred spring of Heart Lotus." Linger frowned. Sacred spring of Heart Lotus? Elder He narrowed his eyes slightly. He had heard of it, but wasn't certain. Lu Chen nodded. "A spiritual spring that produces Heart Lotus. It can cleanse meridians, enhance one's foundation, and when combined with righteous cultivation methods, can even form a half-complete saint body. In the original, in my estimation, Lan Ruoxue uses it to double her breakthrough speed, making Xiao Feng even more devoted to her, and strengthening the righteous sect's protection around her." Mo Bingyao looked at him coldly. "Too many words. Tell me how to take it." Lu Chen replied, "The Heart Lotus only blooms when blood falls into the spring, and the one who takes it must possess a pure cultivation method as bait. Lan Ruoxue has that, but the key point is, the entrance to the spring does not open by force, but by a token." Elder He asked, "What token?" Lu Chen pointed to a small mark on the map. "A Cold Jade Pearl, sealed inside a stone statue in the middle layer, beneath the eye socket of the faceless god statue. Lan Ruoxue will pretend to be injured to lure Xiao Feng into retrieving it. When he breaks the statue, the pearl falls, and she takes it. After that, she enters the spring." The air in the room grew heavy. Linger tightened her grip on the jade slips, her voice low and sharp. "What a white lotus." Lu Chen glanced at her but made no comment. He knew emotions had no value here. Mo Bingyao tapped lightly on the map, her gaze unwavering. "You want to seize it?" Lu Chen replied, "Not just seize it, we must take it in a way that makes them believe they are still in the right. If we act bluntly, the righteous sect will have reason to unite and hunt you down inside the secret realm. But if we let Lan Ruoxue expose herself, we not only take the opportunity, we also shake the foundation of the righteous sect." Elder He looked at Lu Chen for a moment longer, as if weighing him. "You want her to reveal herself?" Lu Chen nodded. "Lan Ruoxue is used to standing above others. She won't tolerate being dragged down. If we create a situation where she must choose between her false virtue and real gain, she will expose herself." Mo Bingyao asked no more. Her command came down like a blade. "The plan." Lu Chen exhaled and spoke clearly. Step by step. Step 1. Linger and I enter the secret realm as rogue cultivators or merchants. I do not reveal any connection to the demonic sect. Step 2. The Saintess enters later, by a different route, avoiding being locked as a target. Step 3. I reach the middle layer first. Locate the faceless god statue, but do not destroy it. I set up a shadow snare to conceal traces and plant a small trigger when the statue is broken. The Cold Jade Pearl's trajectory will shift and fall into my hand. Step 4. I let Lan Ruoxue see Xiao Feng slightly injured from breaking the statue, causing her to panic for a moment. When she hastily grabs the pearl without noticing, it will already have been switched. Step 5. She enters the spring but cannot open it. When she tries to force it open with blood and her cultivation method, the backlash will expose her White Lotus nature, because she will either blame Xiao Feng or kill to silence witnesses. Linger inhaled sharply. You want her to stab herself? Lu Chen replied calmly. I'm only handing her the knife. She chooses how to hold it. Elder He gave a faint nod, his voice deep. Good, but the risks? Lu Chen replied. The greatest risk is Xiao Feng. He's not stupid, just blinded by love. If he suspects me, he'll kill without hesitation. The second risk is the Saintess. If you act too early, the righteous sect will use protecting Lan Ruoxue as an excuse to unite and hunt you down. The third risk is me. Mo Bingyao narrowed her eyes. You? I'm weak, Lu Chen said plainly. Entering the secret realm means placing myself under a blade. But if I don't go in, the plan won't work. Mo Bingyao looked at him, then suddenly asked, sharp as a needle, so you go in to live, or for me? Lu Chen did not avoid the question. He answered honestly, to live, but if I help the Saintess live, I live longer. That answer made Linger curl her lip slightly. But Elder He let out a quiet chuckle, as if hearing exactly what he wanted. Mo Bingyao did not smile. She stepped forward and placed an object on the stone table, a thin gray mask. Its surface smooth like water, almost shifting if stared at too long. Wear it, she said. Lu Chen picked it up, feeling the cold seep into his fingers. Mo Bingyao continued, from now on, you are no longer Lu Chen of the Lu family. In the secret realm, you're the Wanderer. Your real name exists only within the contract. Lu Chen nodded and put on the mask. The moment it touched his skin, it felt as if a layer of mist covered his face, his aura compressed. Altered. Linger looked at him and muttered, you really do look like a rogue cultivator now. Mo Bingyao turned to Linger. You go with him. You are not to kill without my order. Linger stiffened. Saintess, if we encounter Lan Ruoxue. Endure, Mo Bingyao said in a single word. Linger clenched her teeth. Yes. 7 days passed like a blade being sharpened. On the day the secret realm opened, the demonic sect made no grand display, no show of force. Lu Chen and Linger left the valley first, changed cloaks, altered their auras, and entered the mountain region where the realm would open, like two complete strangers. Before the entrance was a natural plaza, massive stones forming a circle. At its center, a crack in space trembled like rippling water. The righteous sect had already gathered in large numbers, white robes like snow, swords at their waists, solemn as if attending a ritual. With just a glance, Lu Chen spotted Lan Ruoxue. She stood among the crowd, her appearance pure, her gaze gentle, as if the world itself became clean simply because she was there. Xiao Feng stood beside her, his expression arrogant, yet his eyes never leaving her, like a loyal hound. Lu Chen walked past without stopping. Without lingering, Linger followed beside him, her voice low. That's her? Lu Chen replied. She looks ordinary, Linger muttered. Lu Chen said, ordinary is what makes her dangerous. Someone too beautiful draws suspicion. Someone just beautiful enough earns trust. Linger fell silent, then muttered through clenched teeth. I hate that kind. Lu Chen replied, hate it if you want. You still have to swallow it. As the spatial rift expanded and spiritual light burst forth, people rushed in. Lu Chen pulled Linger aside, letting the first wave surge through before stepping in. He didn't want to be swept along, because those who were would hit the first traps. Inside the secret realm, everything changed. The spiritual energy was dense, but carried an ancient taste, like stone mixed with blood. Trees towered unnaturally tall, their leaves thick like beast hide. The ground was lined with faintly glowing cracks, like veins beneath skin. Lu Chen moved quickly, speaking little, communicating only through hand signals. Linger was annoyed but followed, because she understood that here, every unnecessary sound could summon something that would kill them. The outer layer was filled with people fighting over herbs and spirit stones. Clashes echoing non-stop, but Lu Chen didn't stop. He simply passed through, mapping escape routes and hiding points in his mind. When they reached an area with 3 stone slabs standing like a gate, Lu Chen stopped and placed his hand on a rock marked with a Y-shaped crack. "This way," he said quietly. Linger frowned. "This path is dark." Lu Chen replied, "Dark means fewer people." "You just said fewer people means easier to be killed." "True," Lu Chen said, "but I only need fewer people in the outer layer. In the middle layer, I need a crowd to witness." Linger glanced at him, but this time, she didn't argue. The narrow path sloped downward like the gut of a mountain. After about half a watch, the noise from above faded. A chill brushed past, raising goosebumps on Linger's skin. She whispered, "There's something." Lu Chen gestured for silence. Ahead stood a stone wall, carved with a face that had no eyes, no nose, only 2 hollow sockets, as if gouged out. "The faceless god statue," Lu Chen said softly. Linger glanced at it, her voice low, creepy. Lu Chen didn't stare. He dropped to one knee, pulled several small talisman fragments from his sleeve, and planted them into the ground in a semicircle. Linger was about to ask, but Lu Chen spoke first. "Don't ask. Stand where I told you." She obeyed, though her eyes remained alert. Lu Chen began setting up the shadow snare. His meager spiritual energy flowed out like threads, weaving around the talismans. Sweat formed on his forehead, but his hands did not tremble. He knew one mistake, and the formation would backlash, killing him on the spot. When the final stroke was completed, the air around the statue seemed to be veiled in mist. The light dimmed slightly, and all traces were instantly concealed. Lu Chen exhaled and said quietly, "Done." Linger looked around, seeing nothing different, and frowned. "Done? It looks like nothing changed." Lu Chen replied, "Exactly. That's the point." The next step was to wait. Wait for someone to break the statue. Wait for Lan Ruoxue and Xiao Feng. But waiting in a secret realm did not mean standing still. Lu Chen pulled Linger back into a rock hollow, a spot from which they could see the statue without exposing their aura. Linger muttered, "Feels like we're doing something cowardly." Lu Chen looked at her and said plainly, "In a secret realm, cowardice means survival, pride means death." Linger fell silent, then bit her lip. "You sound like the Saintess." Lu Chen replied, "I learn from things that kill people." Not long after, footsteps echoed. 2 figures appeared, Lan Ruoxue and Xiao Feng. She walked slightly slower, her complexion pale, her eyes glistening as if she had just cried. Xiao Feng stayed close beside her, his voice filled with concern. "Ruoxue, are you really all right?" She shook her head gently, her voice soft as water. "I'm fine, it's just that my spiritual energy is depleted. I'm afraid I'll hold you back." Xiao Feng immediately grew agitated. "What are you saying? If not for you, why would I even enter this secret realm?" From within the rock hollow, Lu Chen watched the scene without emotion. He saw only the mechanism, Lan Ruoxue pulling the strings, Xiao Feng tightening the noose himself. Linger clenched her teeth, wanting to rush out, but Lu Chen grabbed her wrist and shook his head. Lan Ruoxue stepped before the statue, gazing at the hollow eye sockets, and spoke softly, "I heard there's a token here that opens the path." Xiao Feng frowned. "Where did you hear that?" Lan Ruoxue lowered her eyes, her voice weak. "I happened to overhear the senior brothers, but I'm not sure." Xiao Feng looked at her, then at the statue, determination flashing in his eyes. "I'll handle it." He drew his sword, spiritual energy surging. Lu Chen knew the moment had come. He lightly touched one of the talisman fragments, activating the trigger he had prepared. Xiao Feng slashed the statue. Boom! Stone shattered, dust scattered. Amid the explosion, a cold pearl dropped from the hollow eye socket, glowing faintly blue. Xiao Feng reached out to grab it, but the pearl's trajectory suddenly shifted, slipping past his grasp, falling to the ground, and rolling exactly into the position Lu Chen had calculated. landing perfectly within the range of the shadow snare. Lan Ruoxue let out a soft gasp, as if startled, and immediately bent down to pick it up. But what she picked up was not the real Cold Jade Pearl. It was a fake, swapped in an instant by Lu Chen's formation. The real one had already slipped into his pouch before she could even realize it. Lan Ruoxue held the pearl, and for the briefest instant, her eyes lit up, a flash so subtle that ordinary people wouldn't notice. But Lu Chen did. She turned to Xiao Feng, her voice gentle. "Thank you, if not for you." She shook her head gently, her voice soft as water. "I'm fine, it's just that my spiritual energy is depleted. I'm afraid I'll hold you back." Xiao Feng immediately grew agitated. "What are you saying? If not for you, why would I even enter this secret realm?" From within the rock hollow, Lu Chen watched the scene without emotion. He saw only the mechanism, Lan Ruoxue pulling the strings, Xiao Feng tightening the noose himself. Linger clenched her teeth, wanting to rush out, but Lu Chen grabbed her wrist and shook his head. Lan Ruoxue stepped before the statue, gazing at the hollow eye sockets, and spoke softly. "I heard there's a token here that opens the path." Xiao Feng frowned. "Where did you hear that?" Lan Ruoxue lowered her eyes, her voice weak. "I happened to overhear the senior brothers, but I'm not sure." Xiao Feng looked at her, then at the statue, determination flashing in his eyes. "I'll handle it." He drew his sword, spiritual energy surging. Lu Chen knew the moment had come. He lightly touched one of the talisman fragments, activating the trigger he had prepared. Xiao Feng slashed the statue. Boom! Stone shattered, dust scattered. Amid the explosion, a cold pearl dropped from the hollow eye socket, glowing faintly blue. Xiao Feng reached out to grab it, but the pearl's trajectory suddenly shifted, slipping past his grasp, falling to the ground, and rolling, exactly into the position Lu Chen had calculated, landing perfectly within the range of the shadow snare. Lan Ruoxue let out a soft gasp, as if startled, and immediately bent down to pick it up. But what she picked up was not the real Cold Jade Pearl. It was a fake, swapped in an instant by Lu Chen's formation. The real one had already slipped into his pouch before she could even realize it. Lan Ruoxue held the pearl, and for the briefest instant, her eyes lit up, a flash so subtle that ordinary people wouldn't notice. But Lu Chen did. She turned to Xiao Feng, her voice gentle. "Thank you, if not for you." Xiao Feng roared, "Show yourself." Lan Ruoxue stood behind him, her gaze piercing into the shadows as if trying to drag someone out. This was the moment Lu Chen had been waiting for. Lan Ruoxue had just failed, revealed her suspicion, and most importantly, had drawn Xiao Feng into the hunt. If someone were caught now, she would have the perfect excuse to shift blame and preserve her image. Lu Chen wouldn't let that happen. He took a small stone from his sleeve and tossed it to the opposite side of the pool. It struck the ground with a sharp tack. A shadowy figure, an illusion formed by the shadow snare, flickered briefly and darted away. Xiao Feng immediately gave chase, leaving his position. Lan Ruoxue's eyes flashed. In that instant, she did not follow, she turned back to the pool instead. The greed in her gaze no longer hidden. She gritted her teeth, drew her blade, and prepared to cut deeper, to force more blood out and open the spring by brute force. At that very moment, Lu Chen stepped out from the shadows, not too close, just enough for her to see him. His voice was calm. "Miss Lan, your pearl seems to be wrong." Lan Ruoxue startled and spun around. In the next instant, her expression shifted, returning to a fragile, trembling demeanor. "You? Who are you? Why are you following me?" Lu Chen stood upright, his tone even. "I'm not following you, I simply got lost." A faint cold smile flickered across Lan Ruoxue's lips, quickly hidden as her eyes turned soft again. "Lost? All the way here? Do you think I'm a fool?" Lu Chen did not argue. He simply said, "If you wish to kill me, go ahead, but before that, you should take another look at your pearl." Lan Ruoxue tightened her grip on it, her gaze darkening. "What do you know?" Lu Chen replied, "I know Xiao Feng was the one who broke the statue. I know the pearl should have opened the spring, but it didn't, so there are only two possibilities. Either you're not pure enough, or the pearl was switched." Lan Ruoxue narrowed her eyes, a flicker of killing intent surfacing. "Real. no longer sugar-coated. You're saying I'm not pure enough? Lu Chen met her gaze directly. I didn't say it, the spring did. Lan Ruoxue stepped forward, lowering her voice. What do you want? Lu Chen replied, I want you to leave. The heart lotus is not meant for you. Lan Ruoxue let out a sharp laugh. Who gave you the right? No one, Lu Chen said, but if you insist, you'll do something that makes Xiao Feng see you differently. She froze for a split second. He had hit her weakness. She needed Xiao Feng as her sword, the righteous sect as her shield. She couldn't afford to let her image collapse. In that instant, Lu Chen clearly saw the mask on her face tremble. Her tone softened, eyes moist. I only want to grow stronger, to protect everyone. Hearing that, Lu Chen almost laughed, but he didn't. If that were true, he said calmly, you wouldn't try to force it open with blood. Lan Ruoxue tightened her grip on the blade. Killing intent surged again. She stared at him, then suddenly asked, are you from the demonic sect? Lu Chen replied, I'm someone who doesn't like being killed for no reason. She stepped closer, her voice low and dangerous. If I kill you here, who would know? Lu Chen answered instantly, Xiao Feng will know. Her expression shifted. He's chasing that person. That person was fake, Lu Chen said. I made it. He'll be back in 10 breaths. She froze. For the first time, she looked at him as something outside her plan. 10 breaths. Not enough time. She couldn't erase all traces. Couldn't craft a perfect story. She gritted her teeth. Who are you? Lu Chen replied, someone here to remind you, don't be too greedy. Her eyes reddened with anger. Yet she forced her tone to remain soft. I can offer you benefits. Spirit stones. Cultivation methods, I have them. Lu Chen looked at her. I want you to leave. Lan Ruoxue suddenly smiled, a smile no longer fake. You think you've won? You're just an ant. I'll remember you. Lu Chen nodded. I want you to remember. At that moment, Xiao Feng's footsteps echoed, fast, heavy. He returned, anger on his face. No one was there. Ruoxue, you. He stopped when he saw Lu Chen standing opposite her. His sword immediately pointed at Lu Chen. Who are you? Lan Ruoxue's expression changed instantly, eyes moist, voice trembling. Xiao Feng, he was following me, saying strange things. I'm scared. Lu Chen watched, his heart cold as stone. She didn't hesitate, she immediately used Xiao Feng as a shield. Xiao Feng roared, you dare scare Ruoxue? His sword energy surged. Lu Chen raised both hands. Not attacking, his voice remained calm, but clear enough to carry. Young Master Xiao, if she is truly as pure as you believe, why is she here alone with the heart lotus? Without letting you touch it? Xiao Feng froze, for a moment. Lan Ruoxue immediately choked out. I was afraid you'd be in danger. Lu Chen continued, not giving her time to soften it. Then why did she use blood to force the spring open? Xiao Feng looked down, and saw the blood in the stone groove. His gaze wavered, just a flicker, but it was there. Just a flicker, but for Lan Ruoxue, it was already dangerous. She immediately stepped forward, grabbed his hand, and cried, I only wanted to grow stronger to help you. I was afraid someone might kill you, that's why. Xiao Feng softened instantly, his sword lowering by half an inch. Ruoxue? Lu Chen watched and let out a quiet breath inwardly. Just like in the story, Xiao Feng was led by tears. But that moment of hesitation had already been planted. A grain of sand had fallen into the gears. Xiao Feng turned to Lu Chen, his voice turning cold again. No matter what you say, you were still following her. I won't let you go. Lu Chen didn't argue. He simply said, like a thin blade. Her pearl is fake. Lan Ruoxue's expression changed instantly, though she tried to hide it. Xiao Feng frowned. What pearl? Lan Ruoxue hurried to respond. No, he's talking nonsense. Lu Chen looked at Xiao Feng. The Cold Jade Pearl, the one you broke the statue to obtain. If you don't believe me, ask her whether she's opened the spring. Lan Ruoxue tightened her sleeve, her gaze darkening. Xiao Feng looked at her. That moment stretched like a taut string. Lan Ruoxue forced a smile. I haven't had the chance yet. Lu Chen said, she just tried. It didn't open. Xiao Feng's expression shifted. Ruoxue? Lan Ruoxue immediately broke into tears. I was afraid you'd blame me. Xiao Feng softened again. He turned back to Lu Chen, raising his sword. Get lost. Lu Chen didn't flee in panic. He took a step back, looked at Lan Ruoxue, and said just loud enough for her to hear, "We'll meet again." Then he turned and disappeared into the shadows of the trees before Xiao Feng could give chase. In the darkness, Linger was already waiting, her eyes bright with excitement. "Are you crazy? You dared stand in front of both of them." Lu Chen exhaled, his voice hoarse. "If I didn't, she would have swallowed everything." Linger gritted her teeth. "Did you get the real pearl?" Lu Chen gave a slight nod, his hand brushing the pouch. "Yes." Linger let out a quiet laugh, this time without contempt. "You really are cunning." Lu Chen looked at her. "Cunning keeps you alive." Linger fell silent, then asked softly, "Do we give it to the Saintess now?" "Not yet," Lu Chen said. "There's one more step." "What step?" "Timing," Lu Chen replied. "You give it when it's most needed, not when you have it." Linger looked at him, and for the first time, there was clear acknowledgement in her eyes. "You really are the kind of support the demonic sect needs." Part 5 of Chapter 1 of the Backing of the Demon Sect Saintess comes to an end here. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos.